Hey, third and fourth grade. She's back. Ugh. Week 3. Can't even believe we're getting to week 3 already. Um, got a lot to go over with you guys. You have an interesting new book. One that as I was reading through it, I thought, this book is very well titled. I would not want to sail with Christopher Columbus either. And I'm an adventurer, but that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun to me. Guys, let's go over some preliminary stuff. How many of you guys remember what we did last week, what we talked about last week? How many of you did your homework last week? I really want to encourage something. I have been seeing some of the moms with some kids that keep showing up on a place called Discovery Homeschool Enrichment Parent Page. I am seeing stitching work, and I am seeing reading things. I am seeing, I saw Annabella Smith doing today. I saw Annabella Smith reading about bees. Do you know how excited I got to hear Annabella reading about bees and royal jelly and all that? I thought it was pretty fascinating. Did you guys know Miss Janet used to be a beekeeper back in the day? White suit, little helmet, little net, the whole thing. I got some kind of funny stories to tell you guys, but yeah, that's for another time. Guess you'll just have to come back to Discovery next year. I want to know how you did with last week's projects. I want you to, before I change that train of thought, I want you to post some stuff to the parent page. If you guys are not shy, if you're doing something especially cool, if you are learning something you didn't know about before, if we repeated something that you already knew, go ahead, tell us that. We just want to know how you're doing and how much you're enjoying the work that you're doing at home. Last week we had gone from sketching or rough draft and writing to doing some painting, which would be more like your finished work of your writing assignment. And I told you that I would not do anything, ask you to do anything that I would not do, that I would not share. And so here is my art. Come on, guys, don't judge. This is rough. This is rough. Okay, yes, it is still a work in progress. And you know what's embarrassing about this? Miss Pamela may see this. Guys, don't show her this. I got enough grief with Miss Pamela, okay? The other side of that is, see this guy over my shoulder right there? That's my husband. And he is an artist. I haven't even showed him this because, I can get by with third and fourth graders and first and second graders, but that guy's an artist. And he wouldn't judge me. He would say, nice try, Janet. That's good. All right, how about, oh, by the way, the reason I'm sitting here is because I've had a couple of kids make comments about, gee, Miss Janet, we'd like to see more of your house and a little bit of your life. And so I am sitting in what I refer to as the wall of weddings. We've got 3 sons, and they all picked beautiful brides. And I love being their mom. I love being not a mother-in-law. These are the girls that I prayed, God, please give me daughters, not daughter-in-laws. And I have 3 daughters, and it's pretty sweet. And then there's, like, family pictures from way back in the day. Like I could have used a cheeseburger or 2 back then. But anyway, that's what you see behind me. And my husband is an artist, and you guys, I think coming up, are going to get to see some of his work. I'm not sure. Okay, so hope you finished your painting. I would love to see some of those on Facebook. I don't even care if people think that it is your artwork and not your writing work, because why would anybody think of painting as your writing work? They didn't read The Paintbrush Kid. All right, how many of you guys went traveling with this guy? Do you know how crazy I would be if I got to read some of your Flat Stanley adventures during the lock-in or quarantine or whatever craziness we're calling this crazy time of our lives? I can imagine that he has gone some pretty great places, if only in your imagination, because I know some of you guys. I can't even imagine where Olivia may have traveled with Flat Stanley, or, Jaden. No telling where he has gone with Jaden. All right, how many of you guys remember and worked on this. You went out and you took your little walk and you wrote down a list of words. Don't judge me. When I go out on my walks, I've usually got a backpack on. I don't have pencil and, clipboards with me. But that's for another time. We are getting ready to go into the book. I don't know if you've started reading it yet or if this is the first week that you start reading it in chapter 1, but you wouldn't want to sail with Christopher Columbus. Man, some of the stuff I read, I am not traveling with Christopher Columbus. Kind of glad we got big ocean liners now. Kind of glad we have airplanes. Kind of glad I have my own car and I can just drive across country if I wanted to. But we are getting ready to do something a little bit more than a summary. And what you're going to find and do today is you are going to assemble the book that I gave to you. Again, I'm not an artist, guys. This is the best Nina Pinta or Santa Maria of any kind I could come up with. Let me tell you something. If you guys can draw a better Nina Pinta or Santa Maria or all three of them, go for it. Make your own cover. I actually did this just as a means of getting the cover into your hands, okay? You are just going to take and inside you're going to put in the 5 pages. And then what I did is I just trimmed the construction paper that you have for the back. Just kind of cut it down to size, make it look like it's your little storyboard. As you read this, you're going to be getting at least one copy of this, and it would basically be for your page 1 and your chapter 1. We're going to include the parts of the book that you have, and that always means the title, the author, the illustrator, and the publisher. In each chapter, and this is set up just for chapter 1, in each chapter, you're going to give me the main idea and then retell in your own word. Looks like I'm going to go back and fix that because it should say in your own words. And you're going to summarize. You're going to write the summary. Do you remember what the summary is? It's more of just the facts. You don't have to give an opinion about the book. You just need to bring forward the most detail that you can about it. And then as you're reading, you'll do chapter 1 on one page, chapter 2, just turn through, and so that you can do one in each chapter. There is not a lot of homework for you to do this week other than getting that book put together, taking care of the parts of the book, and then getting ready. Guys, I'd be really thrilled if you drew another cover if you like, but work on making that cover as intense as you might think it would have been. A couple of things that I read about this is I can't imagine being out at sea for 2 months and you're only allowed to sleep for 4 hours at a time. In a 24-hour period, do you know how many times we're going to keep waking you up? You take 24 and divide it by 4. How many sleep shifts do you get and how many work shifts do you get? Some of the jobs that they did were crazy dangerous. And if you're not at full wits capacity and you can't think clearly, that had to be some pretty dangerous stuff. Also, they had some other travelers with them on their ship. They weren't all human. And the non-human kind, I don't like traveling with those. You should see me if I'm out in the woods and it's starting to get a little dusky and I start to hear things. My imagination goes crazy because it's either a rabbit or a grizzly bear. I kind of respond the same way sometimes. I like to know and see everything that I'm traveling with, and some of those critters. So I want you to tell me all of those details, and chapter by chapter by chapter, you're going to be able to find the main idea of that chapter, and then you're going to be able to put that into words and get that all squared away and get that summary written. The whole idea of this is so that as you've done some artwork and you've worked on your parts of your book and you've got 5 main ideas, one from each chapter, and then you've written a summary of your own, you're going to be able to retell that story page by page, chapter by chapter, to another younger person. And I think that that's a really great way to work on your writing skills. You actually become a better writer the more good books that you read. If you read good writers, you become good writers. I'm watching my little granddaughter learn how to cook. She's 5 years old and she's learning how to cook with her mom, which is such a bonus, because if she was learning how to cook with me, poor little child, she might never get married. But my little granddaughter is learning to cook with her mama, and her mama is a very good Southern cook. So that's kind of the correlation. If you study under somebody that's really good at something, then you become better at it. And so I want you guys to just read as many books as you can. Think about how those books are written. What can you learn about the way that they've tied stories together, made sure that themes would flow from one chapter to the next, each chapter being very different, but all flowing together in a really good pattern, and overall telling a great, big, wonderful story. I want you guys to think about those kinds of things as you're writing these summaries. And remember, the difference between a summary and a book report is there's an awful lot of opinion that is given in a book report. One of the things that you have to do in a book report that's not going to be in your summary is you have to decide whether or not you would recommend that book to someone. Why would you read that book? Is it a good story? Is it a great story? Is it just, you know? So I want you guys to just decide what kind of writers you would want to be, and can you find writers that really impress you, and kind of model yourself after them a little bit. Again, guys, I really want you to think about uploading some of those things to Facebook. It gets me so tickled when I see some of these faces coming up. I was going through my phone the other day, and I got to see a picture of Emmett and Cash working together. And I still to this day remember hearing how those boys were when they were talking to each other. Oh, wow, look, Emmett, you found another one. This is so great. You're really good at this. And this is kind of hard, huh? And the two of them working together in this little team and just encouraging each other. And I just know that when you guys put these different things up on Facebook, you're not only encouraging other writers, you're actually encouraging your teachers. Because sitting here behind an iPad and talking to a box is not fabulous. But when I see all that you guys are doing out there, and all the sewing projects and the art projects, and learning about bee dances, oh my goodness. Guys, there's just a lot of cool things happening, and it's very encouraging to all of this. Something else I know, Miss Kay goes a little bit nuts over these things. She gets so excited. So go ahead, upload something, make her day. I love you guys. I'll see you again this time next week. I love you. Get your work done. Bye.